always funny when you get the intro, basically I'm the person in my family that everyone calls to kind of go, what's blockchain? And when they want to know anything geeky, it seems to be that I'm the one they call. And last year I got the Office of the New Zealand Order of Merit for Services to Technology, which cracks me up. When I was growing up, I was the only girl in my high school that wanted to study coding, so they bussed me to a boys' school. And then when I went to university, again, I was consistently only the only woman in the room. And I have 4 brothers, and so I'd pretty much got used to it. What I find interesting now is that the tech space is still pretty boysy. So whether we're thinking about blockchain, or we're thinking about 3D printing, or we're thinking about virtual reality, which I love. My 16-year-old daughter, when I showed her this picture, she goes, I guess this stuff is more immersive, but you just look stupider. I know, don't you? And I thought this is one of the reasons we need more women in the tech space, because no woman is wearing this thing. All right? Are you? You know what I mean? Like, it might be really cool tech, but if you look stupider, it's just not going to happen. So I spend my days basically playing with all this kind of new technology. I've been playing with what's called big data since 1986. And what we use it for is really everything that you do. You probably know this. Like every time you do one of those Facebook quizzes, I want you to understand that they're not really that interested in whether your aura is blue. What they're doing is they're tracking as much data as they possibly can about you. And what's important about this is that we don't realise when we're doing this on the net that everything around us is being tracked all the time. I want you to think about just how much technological change has gone on in the last, perhaps even 10 years. We have an image of what technology is about. We have an image of what geeks look like, and it doesn't usually look like me, and it doesn't necessarily look much like you. But there's a couple of things you should know as well, is that women are the greatest users of mobile phones. I mean, duh, right? I was sitting up the back with the celebrity speaker stuff before, and every single one of them is on Facebook. And when we think about it, as women, we're the ones who do most of the shopping, we do most of that socialising, and the place that we do most of it now is on our phones. And yet still, when we go in and I talk to a room full of developers, it's basically a bunch of boys designing for us. And it's worth thinking about when you're designing any of your products. If you leave your product design over to the kids who code, you're going to have a lot of problem when you take it to market. And I can imagine if you were a video store owner that you thought that the video business was going to last forever. And they did. And when they first saw Netflix come along who ate their lunch, do you know what they did? They pointed and laughed. And mostly when we see people who turn out to be our competitors, we laugh at them. We think, oh, that's pretty stupid. And the reason that Blockbuster thought Netflix was pretty stupid was that most of Blockbuster's money came from fines, not from video rentals, right? I'm serious, right? They had 3 revenue streams. 1 was the videos, 2 was the fines, and the 3rd was the junk food. And they looked at Netflix and they went, that's a dumb business idea. The last thing I want to leave you with, though, is for all of this technology that I play in, and all of the technology around us, and whether we can point and laugh at Air New Zealand or we point and laugh at people who don't take tech seriously, in the end, it's about the human connection that matters. When I was sitting down today and I was thinking about, what's my best food experience? And I thought, actually, the best meal I have ever had in my life was at my son's wedding. And being hipsters, they live in London, they went to France to find this eco-farm to have the wedding on. Now, the technology around me allowed us to book it all on the internet, book the rooms, book the farm, even buy those sheep with electronic transactions. But actually, the moment that counted was the moment when we all came together. But it's those stories that in the end, it's not about the food or it's not about the technology, it's about the human connection. And that's what I'd invite you to think about, is that yes, we have to keep pace with technology. Let's not be fashion victims to it. And let's keep that human connection really, really strong. Thank you.